falar um pouco sobre como que o Twitter pode ser utilizado também para construir soluções junto ao setor público. No Brasil, agora, recentemente, a gente começou uma discussão de agenda digital, como que o Brasil pode se tornar um país mais digital e mais inovador. O Brasil Lab, por exemplo, é uma organização que conecta startups com o poder público. A gente tenta levar soluções para dentro do governo. Então, a minha pergunta é se o Twitter já foi utilizado como uma ferramenta para a construção de alguma solução junto ao setor público e quais foram os resultados.
Thanks for the question, Leticia. The short answer is yes. But let me give you some examples. Here in Brazil, from last year, we had a direct message integration with the Brazilian Electoral Commission, where Twitter users could interact with the Electoral Commission and get information of interest to voters about the voting process here in Brazil. In other countries, we've had integrations with government agencies and ministries that provide almost like a consumer response dashboard. So in India, we have something which is called Twitter Seva in India. Seva is Hindi for service. And government ministries will receive complaints. They'll receive requests for information from the public, and then they're able to respond directly through Twitter to citizen issues. And that responsiveness is something that they can do through Twitter. We have a similar integration with ministries in Indonesia. We also have done something with the Australian Ministry of Foreign Affairs to provide through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Twitter account information of relevance for Australians who are traveling abroad. Of information that may be relevant for them as they travel. We have in London a transportation authority used the Twitter app to talk about delays on the tube for commuters so that they can modify their route to work based upon information that they receive through Twitter. And so the transportation authority is doing that as a public service.
Seria bem útil em São Paulo, né?
Yeah. And having traveled in São Paulo traffic, I understand the value of integrating with perhaps the transportation ministry. And so maybe that should be our first integration. But I want to give you another anecdote and a story about a little village in Spain. And the village is called Hun. And it has 3,500 inhabitants, so it's relatively small. But Alcalde José Antonio, who's the mayor of Hun, has convinced the citizens of Hun over time to all get Twitter accounts. And he essentially runs the government services of the town on Twitter. And it provides a response to citizens to reach him, to reach members of the city council, the town council, but also it brings transparency and accountability to government services. So an example of what they do is if a citizen tweets to the mayor that the street lamp is out on their street, they take a picture of the street lamp and they tag the mayor in the tweet. The mayor then receives that notification that there's a street lamp out on this street, and he adds the person in Hun who's in charge of fixing street lamps. And so that person now knows that they've gotten a request to fix the lamp, and so that person goes to work. When he's fixed the lamp, he takes a picture of it and says, job done, the lamp is fixed. Now the benefit of that is everybody in the town can see that. And so the mayor and his staff is accountable to the town. There's transparency about what the government is doing. But almost every aspect of the village life is on Twitter in this way. And so the police all have Twitter accounts, and they respond through community policing on that. Social services are on Twitter. Now the question is, how do you take a village of 3,500 and extrapolate that out to larger communities and larger societies? And it won't be easy, but sometimes it takes a village to build a larger community. It takes a village to show the way. And I think there are lessons here for all of us, because it might not be something that you do on a grand scale with multiple million inhabitants in a particular community, but maybe you start with a particular ministry. You start with a particular discipline, like transportation, like social services, education, and try certain things and experiment with them, because it is the ability to provide open, public transparency and accountability in service where the government can show it's discharging its responsibilities and the public can judge whether or not they're doing a good job or not.